What's up? This is question and answer, April 26, 2017. I said I was going to do it. I said I was going to do it 24 hours ago, but I had to go to Ohio and I had to take care of something, so I just got back from Ohio a couple hours ago, so I'm here now. That's what matters. So almost 48 hours ago. But anyway, got a lot of good questions. Now, if this video goes over 15 minutes, I'm going to put it on another channel. I'll do a video on the channel that I asked the questions, and I'll tell everybody to click the link. And I'll put this video on another channel. So you're here because you clicked on the link if this video goes over 15 minutes. Because I got a lot of good questions. Anyway, let's get to it. Q&A. Haven't done this in a while. Let's do it. First question. Juan Rodriguez. He asked me, have you lost any weight or do you still weigh 166.66? I have lost weight. I'm down to like 162. I was at like 168. I'm not eating anything with salt on it anymore. And I'm not drinking soda anymore. I'm purely just water, iced tea, and orange juice and a couple other things. It is helping. I'm walking and running more, and I'm gonna get back to roller skating pretty soon. So yeah, I'm losing weight. I'm feeling good. I'm 34 years old. I'm starting to get rid of the triple quadruple chin and go down to a single or double. Next, JWO Dark Mice. He asked, who is a bigger slob, A-Bomb or So Real James 187? A-Bomb is a slob, but he's kind of like a disciplined slob. You know what I mean? A-Bomb is a slob. There's no question about that fat fuck. But he has it under control. He's like a disciplined slob. He's like, even though I don't like the guy, we don't like each other, but he's kind of disciplined about it. He knows what he's doing. So Real is out of control. He sits all day in his damn apartment, makes essay after essay after paragraph or paragraph of comments. His best friend is a fucking pet bird. He watches The Walking Dead all day. He doesn't walk around, exercise, or do nothing. He lives in a halfway fucking apartment that's the home for welfare collecting slobs like him. So Real James, no doubt about, is a bigger slob. At least A-Bomb, he goes out and works and does things and whatever. But no doubt about it. So Real James 187 is a bigger slob. Now that I mentioned him in his video, he's probably gonna make 5 videos and he's probably gonna write paragraph after paragraph about me. Next question. Next question is from Kurt Mason. Are you ingesting? I know. Are you investing in any cryptic currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever? I don't invest in e-currency. I invest in just paper currency. Exchange rates around the world change all the time, and it's a good investment to invest in foreign currency. I do invest in gold, silver, and all kinds of metals, precious metals, because the value goes up all the time. Good, like gold, and I do invest in currencies because the value and exchange rates change all the time. Certain things affect exchange rates. Elections, terrorist events like terrorist bombings, wars, um, government overthrows, New World Order agendas. There's catastrophic disasters, nuclear disasters. The country goes into riots, the country goes into a crisis, and the economy collapses. Exchange rates change all the time. It's a good investment. So yeah, I don't do anything with currency. No, my currency is no good unless it's on paper. That's the way I see it. Next question. Let's go to Twitter. I got one question off there. This question is from Barnabas Reynolds. He asked, was your Jewish mother a Holocaust survivor? First off, I don't even think my mother was Jewish. She was German. German. And Danish. Now, I did some ancestry search in my family tree, and I think there is some kind of Jewish connection. I'm trying to find it. But as far as I know, no, my mother was born here in the United States. My grandmother was born here in the United States. But there's another connection to my family that was born in Germany, and I'm trying to find the Jewish connection. And you could see it in me. You can especially see it in my brother. My brother is ugly and he has a big fucking nose. So there's some kind of connection there, Jewish. I'm trying to find it. I haven't found it yet. Next question goes by Harley Clinton. He asked me, how fat is your cock? Well, my girlfriend gives me no complaints. She's impressed. So, next question goes from Greg Swamp. Is it true Hydrocarbon 209, Joker's Wild, was the original leader of the JWO? I think the original leader of the JWO was Electric Messiah. He perpetrated it all. I also suspect Jay Hutch was behind it, and I suspect that Jay Hutch is running the Yo Daddy account. But as far as who the original leader of the JWO was, I was leader for a time. I'm not the original leader. I think it was Oregon Thumb, also known as Thumb. I think he was the original leader. Next question is from Slob60. How many? What's been your highlight or most memorable moment during your time on YouTube? Probably the hoaxes against me. That when I ended up on TMZ because somebody put a hoax against me saying I shot a black guy down in Louisiana, and that got me, even though it was hate, but it got me a lot of views. And there's three big things that's happened to me on YouTube that made me blow up in the news. And the first thing that happened was back in 2012, there was a girl that suffered from cancer, and somebody hacked her channel and put, as a hoax, and they were pissed off at me and my brother. They wanted to create a lot of hate for me and my brother, so they took my video that I made, hacked this poor girl's channel. She's deceased now, and they took my video and put it on her channel as a prank. And a lot of her followers came over to me, and that created a lot of hate for me and my brother. It was called the Talia Joy hack or whatever. That was one big thing that blew me up on YouTube. Another big thing that blew me up on YouTube was in 2014. I went on YouTube and the Mothers Demand Action was doing a thing going against Kroger, telling Kroger customers, trying to get Kroger to tell the customers not to carry guns in their stores. And I've been a Kroger customer for like 20 years. Okay. So that really pissed me off that they targeted Kroger like that. And I went on camera and I told the Mothers Demand Action to put a dick in their mouth and shut the fuck up. Well, some liberals found that video, and it got on every liberal news site, website, whatever. It blew up. There's a gun documentary done by Kate Couric. This was done probably a couple years ago. It was called America Under the Gun or something. I was featured in that video, in that documentary. I was featured in that documentary for about 3 minutes. I'm not lying. Shannon Watts, as a matter of fact, Shannon Watts, she sat down with Hillary Clinton during a debate, and she was showing off YouTube videos to Hillary Clinton saying this is why we need gun control, blah, 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 blah. And she showed some YouTube videos to Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton sat down and watched some of these YouTube videos, and my video was one of them. So Hillary Clinton knows who I am. That was another thing that blew me up on YouTube. So the biggest thing that blew me up on YouTube was probably the Anton Sterling thing. That blew me up like no other. So those are probably the highlights of my career. Making fame off somebody else's, I mean, I'm not trying to make fame off somebody's cancer or somebody, being hateful or somebody's death. That's totally not my intention, but it's funny how YouTube works that way. You don't intend for that to happen, but people hate you, and all your haters, the haters that hate me, all they're doing is helping me. So without haters, who knows where I'd be. But I'm glad I do have haters because they help me grow. So here goes another question. Mad Mike, how long have you been a truck driver? What are the positives and negatives? There's a lot of positive. Well, if you don't want to be away from family all the time, I wouldn't suggest it. But the positive is I've been to every state. I've been to every major city. I've been truck driving since 2004. I've been wanting to truck drive since I was a little kid. I don't see myself doing anything other than truck driving. That's what I love doing. I love traveling. I've been to every state except Hawaii and Alaska. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Canada. I'm taking an overseas trip in a couple of months. I've been to a lot of places, and I met a lot of different people. So I've seen a lot of cultures and different types of weather. Mountains and desert and palm trees and uh, if you love traveling the country and making money, truck driving is a good way to do it. So I've been doing this since 2004 for so about 13 years. Mad Mike also asks me, what made you want to become a YouTuber and how long have you been on YouTube? I've been on YouTube since 2009. What made me become a YouTuber? Well, I never really thought about becoming a YouTuber back in like the 07, 08 days. My brother started doing it in 07, and I thought, well, I can't do that. I never really wanted to do it or had any desire to do it. But one day I got pissed off at another truck driver at a truck stop. I videotaped it. I videotaped me going on camera telling him to fuck off, and I decided to put it on YouTube. I didn't have any. I had no idea, but that fucking video blew up and got 10,000 views. And 10,000 views back in 2009 was fucking big. And I said to myself, damn. And that was my first video I ever made when I got pissed off at another trucker at a truck stop. And I just went off on him. And the video, you can't find it anywhere. It's been deleted. But anyway, I thought to myself, damn, that's pretty brilliant. I uploaded a video to YouTube, first video, and I got 10,000 views. Shit. So I decided to start doing something. So I decided to start making rants about things. And at the time I was having a rant. I was having difficulties with a phone company called Sprint because they ripped me off. So I went on a Sprint rant, and that got 6,000 views. I actually got on the phone with Sprint and said, start cussing at them on the phone and videotaped it. That got 6,000 views. And I thought, wow, this is pretty good. I'm pretty good at this. So I thought I decided, what should I call myself? So I went on to CB Radio and then started going on rants. And somebody said to me, well, you rage a lot. I'm like, rage, Rob. I'm going to call myself Raging Rob. So Raging Rob was officially born in Kannapolis, North Carolina in 2009 of April when I made my first YouTube video. And I just blew up from there. So I never really saw myself doing YouTube videos, but here I am 8.5 years later, and I'm still doing it. So that's how Raging Rob got started, was just at a truck stop in North Carolina. And I didn't even realize it's just crazy the way things happen. And Hugh Jackson tells me to get kidney cancer, and he calls me a fucking nerd. So anyway, next question comes from Duckhead. Who do you think is better looking, Queenie Cameron or Veronica Clark? I gotta be totally honest, Veronica Clark's not bad looking. But she has all that fucking Hitler Nazi shit on her that makes her look ugly. She's not a bad looking woman, don't get me wrong. But she has all that Nazi Hitler shit on her, And there's no question, Queenie Cameron, she looks like a jewel. I'm telling you, she's just beautiful. Sort of like, that one girl. She used to call herself Optic Jewel. I think her name's Megan. She now calls herself Red Jewel. She's another one that's really good looking. Check out her channel, Red Jewel. But anyway, Queenie Cameron's a fucking jewel. I mean, she's just beautiful. Next question comes from Wallwood Watermelon. He asked me, have you ever seen anyone die on the road while trucking? No, I've watched someone die while I was cab driving. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for about 6 years. 3 of those years I was a cab driver. And one night, 1:30 in the morning, I think I was on a Tuesday. Yeah, on a Tuesday. Just roaming around Phoenix trying to find a fare. There was a car in front of me. And here comes this crackhead. I mean, this guy was high on drugs or something. This Hispanic crackhead, he just walks out in front of this car. And the car hits him. I mean, the guy was like sprinting. He didn't even attempt to stop. So I'm wondering if it was suicide. But anyway, the car hits him, and he flings up. I swear to God, he went up like 14 feet in the fucking air. Lands face down. Bleeds from his head. And of course, they brought out the yellow tape and everything. a homicide investigator called me a couple days later and wanted to question me on the phone, and yeah, it was pretty fucking graphic. It didn't really bother me because I've seen death before because I was a truck driver for many years before I was cab driving. Then I went back to trucking. So one time in Birmingham, Alabama, there was a bad car accident, and there was like a white sheet covering something. It was covered in blood, and I'm like, oh my god, I know what that was. So, and this was like 2006 when they didn't have iPhones back then. So the next morning at the truck stop, I was looking through the newspaper and I found out a 16-year-old black kid died in that shit. So it's just depressing. But I've seen death many times. You know, a cab driving Phoenix, Arizona, driving around. One time I found a dead body in the road. One day I was walking home from the movie theaters and there was a homeless person face down in the fucking pavement. I thought he was dead. I called 911. Turns out he was just fucking intoxicated. So they came out and woke his ass up and took him to the homeless shelter. But anyway, I've seen death before. Haven't really watched somebody die truck driving. I have watched somebody die cab driving. It's, you know, I hate to say this, but that death doesn't really bother me because I've seen it so much. It just, after a while, it just desensitizes you. Cheese Pizza asks me, cheese pizza. Well, hot and ready. I love Little Caesars hot and ready. Rest in peace, Mike Elledge. I love hot and ready. So, the pepperoni cheese pizza. J.W. Woody asks me, what happened to your Jewish flag, Beast? I still got my Jewish flag. It's actually Israeli flag. I got it around here somewhere. Hold on. Oh, what is this? Whoa, wait a minute. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is that? My favorite Jewish president, Benjamin Netanyahu. Here's another question. Danielle Benedetto asks me. He says he's from New Orleans. He asks me, what do you think about the taking down of the historic Confederate monuments in New Orleans? I think it's a fucking disgrace. That's part of history. And they're taking down Confederate monuments in the name of, well, they think it's racist. And I advise these fucking dumbass liberals to look at history. Okay? This flag is not racist. It's about history. It's about heritage. Deal with it. It's not a hate flag. Okay? I'm not going to discuss my family heritage on YouTube, but I got heritage. And that flag means something in my family. And if I find somebody burning that flag, it would be an absolute fucking disgrace. That flag means something to me. It's heritage in my family. I'm part redneck. And that means something to me. I think it's a fucking disgrace what they're doing in New Orleans. It's just ridiculous. That's what happens. I mean, I believe we're living in the end of times. I don't think that's about it. So yeah, this video was longer than I thought. I didn't get to all the questions. I thought I got to enough questions, but that's Q&A, April 26, 2017. I'm gonna put this video on my other channel that I don't have any strikes on. I will do a video on the other channel saying, hey, check the link out below. So Q&A, April 26, 2017. The next Q&A, I don't know, maybe a month, whenever I feel like doing it. So anyway, this is Raging Rob.